Hello, my friend, and welcome to TFU News and Views. I am your host, Anthony Brucali, owner-operator, madman behind TFU.INFO, the website, tour archive, this podcast, Transformers University podcast, and so much more. I want to welcome you to 2022. I want to welcome you to our 2022 edition of It's a Great Time to Be a Transformers Fan, because it is. And I want to welcome you to the return of this podcast. It's been a little while. Things have been a little tricky in terms of the holidays and the end of the year getting podcasts out. One of my goals for 2022 is to podcast a lot more. So hope you like hearing from me, because you're going to be hearing from me quite a bit. And if things sound a little different today, it's because I am messing around with a piece of gear that I borrowed from work because we have a Rodecaster at work, and I need to get to know how to use it so I can teach other people how to use it. So I'm using it right now. It does have these neat little preset buttons that are preloaded. I'm pretty sure you can load them with your own things. I haven't tried it out yet, but they got things like this. Ooh, there's my laugh track. Or this. Or this weird little piece of Beast Wars sounding music. Right? Like we're going to break on that, aren't we? we're trapped in the Predacon base. It's really weird how much that sounds like the Beast Wars clip. All right, but enough fun with the Rodecaster. We are going to talk about why it is a great time to be a Transformers fan. So if you're a fan of the toys, the comics, the cartoons, the media, the world of Transformers like I am, there's always something to enjoy. And it's going to start, of course, with Legacy. Next year's Generations toy line, Legacy, it's shaping up to be a lot of fun. The rumored lists that have come out recently really show that Legacy is going to touch a whole bunch of different series, including Cybertron, Transformers Cybertron, and Diaclone, and even some South American stuff. I won't get too into the details of that list, but it looks really cool in terms of what Legacy and Legacy Selects are going to cover in the coming year, including some of those Diaclone things, such as Blue Streak and Black Ironhide. And I don't know if you saw the picture just recently of Night Prowler, but that figure is an unreleased planned figure from 2003 from the Universe line of Beast Wars Cheetor. You see, I did that there. That was fun. I might have to come up with some sounds for this one so I don't have to do so much editing when I do put in my sound effects, right? And then, of course, we have our store exclusive lines, such as Buzzworthy Bumblebee at Target, which, is starting to branch into other characters other than Bumblebee. And I think actually that 4-pack is part of the Buzzworthy line. It's kind of neat here how Hasbro has shifted their exclusives to be selects as their own thing, and then the store exclusives being not just one-offs here and there, but part of a bigger picture. So, Walmart had the Netflix line, and they'll have something heading into next year. And Amazon has had like the Golden Disc collection and the Battle Across Time collection. So like they've had these ways to kind of group these exclusives together instead of just making them sort of willy-nilly exclusive. So I really, really like that. But Buzzworthy has leaked with a new version of a Studio Series Cup and Studio Series Cliff Jumper. And that 4-pack and maybe some other 4-packs down the line. So I think overall, as fans, if you like deep cuts and you like weird cuts, this is a good year for that because there's no new media this year, right? I mean, virtually no new media. There's no movie. The movie's been delayed till 2023. The two cartoons that have been in the works, which are both aimed at younger kids, BotBots has been delayed, I believe, until close to the end of the year. And the other one, I haven't really heard much about, but let's say it's middle to end of the year. So you've got probably a good 6 months before we even see any new, television or film media, right? So it's going to be a quiet year. It's going to be almost a lull year in terms of media, right? But so that means the toy lines get to kind of branch out and try some weird things. Of course, we have Studio Series continuing on in Studio Series 86, so we'll see a little bit of Bumblebee movie love. If you've been keeping an eye here, you saw us with our first look at the Studio Series RC figure on our Twitter feed at TFU_info. And, Studio Series 86 is going to motor on as well. Now, some of the things that are still kind of up in the air, right, are Masterpiece, right? We've seen pictures of a Masterpiece Cliff Jumper floating around, but no official announcement. And you have Masterpiece riding. So Masterpiece will still continue on into 2022, as will Rescue Bots for those who are fans of Rescue Bots or Rescue Bots Academy. So Transformers as a brand has the fandom covered from the really young at Rescue Bots to the collectors at Legacy and the Masterpiece level. And then aside from that, we've got some of the licensees. We've got Super 7 and their reaction line, Super 7 and their Ultimates line, which I wasn't in on waves 1 and 2, but I am really into wave 3. I already pre-ordered the Alligator Con. I already pre-ordered Tarn because it's an official Tarn that isn't $300. And I am on the fence about ordering that G2 Megatron from Ultimates, and I'm leaning closer to yes every time I talk about it. So I'm going to stop right there. And of course, we have Flames Toys and all their model kits and action figure lines. So there's a lot going on in terms of licensees. And then, of course, you have Transformers Collaborative, which seems to do something about once a quarter, right? Once every 3 months or so. We seem to get about 4 of those a year now. So, and that's an average. It's not an exact number. So that's something that'll continue on, hopefully into 2023. We haven't heard anything about it, but I don't see why they wouldn't do it. They seem to be fairly successul. And of course, on the side of that, sometimes you have some of the lesser known things like the Universal Studios figures that seem to creep out. And, I got to admit, living in Orlando now, it's nice being close to Universal and just the airport in general, because there's a Universal store in the airport. So you can shoot over to the airport and pick those Universal exclusives up, usually without not much of a problem. Now, being that it is 2022, we are coming up on some interesting anniversaries for the Transformers brand. Now, me personally, I take the 5-year approach to anniversaries, much like the show Hot 5 with Radio Free Cybertron. If you're a Patreon of RFC, you know what I'm talking about. It's a really good show where they cover everything that has happened 5, 10, 15, 20 years and so on ago. So taking a look just really quickly for 2022 as a broad set of anniversaries. 35th anniversary of Headmasters, the Japanese anime, and just the concept overall in the United States in the 1987 toy line. One you can help celebrate on this show's sister podcast, Transformers University, as we look a little deeper into 1987 and as we're talking about Headmasters, the cartoon, and Headmasters within the Marvel UK run, as well as how they fit into the Marvel universe, the Marvel run of regular Transformers, the US Transformers. Now, worth noting here, of course, is for me, I've never read the Marvel UK run in its entirety, so a lot of these stories are new to me. I've never really watched Headmasters until starting to cover it for Transformers University, so a lot of this stuff is new to me, and that's something I probably should have pointed out a little earlier, that it's a lull year for the media stuff. It means you can go back. You have time now that, you're not consuming a show a week or binging a show, somewhere. You can pull together some time to catch up on Transformers series you might have heard good things about, like Transformers Animated or Beast Wars or something you haven't necessarily watched, or maybe you just want to torture yourself and watch Transformers Energon. You can do that because there's going to be such a gap in terms of media for Transformers. Now, speaking of gaps, it's also the 30th anniversary of 1992. Well, why is it just 1992? It's the 1 year Transformers were not released in North America. Now, G2 came out in 93 and probably hit stores in late 92. But for observational purposes. 1992 is what I call the lull year. It's the year that Transformers only came out in Europe and in Japan. So in the U.S. and North America, there were no Transformers. It's the 1 year without Transformers. So why would you want to celebrate that? Well, think of it this way. It's been 30 consecutive years, or I guess next year will be 30 consecutive years, since we've had a year without Transformers, and that is something to be happy about. It is the 25th anniversary of 1997, which really isn't a groundbreaking year in Transformers. It's the second year of Beast Wars, but that's really the year the online fandom starts to blow up. That's when I joined the online fandom, and you can really see how people came into the fandom in late 96 and early 97. So it's 25 years for a lot of us just being fans and being friends. So that's something, at least personally, for me to celebrate. And of course, another thing personally for me to celebrate, it is going to be the 20th anniversary of TFU.INFO, the website, my website. And so please join us all year as we celebrate TFU.INFO and our 20th anniversary. It's also the 20th anniversary of Transformers Armada, which surprisingly have not seen or heard any real love for that series in an official capacity for Generations or for Legacy. But who knows? Maybe that Armada Optimus Prime that showed up a couple of years back, maybe that becomes part of the celebration. It's also the 15th anniversary of the first Michael Bay film this year. So, wow, it's been 15 years of Bayverse, and it is 15 years since the first one, which is probably the best one that Bay directed. So we're 15 years removed from that. And finally, it is the 10th anniversary of IDW's transition into what they called Phase 2. More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise, those two series launched in January of 2012. So we are right in the 10th anniversary year of those two series. They are legendary bits of Transformers storytelling. If you've never read them, here's your chance to celebrate them, especially considering IDW may lose the license this year. Some quick thoughts on that, right? IDW has been, if you search IDW's like valuation and like monetary profile, they have not been doing well. They lost a lot of money in 2020. They lost less money in 2021, but they still lost a lot of money. So I think Hasbro's being smart here, shopping around the license to other comic publishers, in that if IDW goes under, if IDW goes bankrupt, Hasbro doesn't get their money from IDW until IDW has it and is intending to release it. So for Hasbro, if they want to keep a continuity of income from comics and from a comics licensee as the licensor, it makes sense for them to start shopping around the license. And if it ends up at Skybound, it's not a bad thing. Robert Kirkman has a track record of success with his projects and has been kind of an innovative and, how do I put this, smart creator and publisher. And I mean, he's made a ton of money off of, Walking Dead and Invincible. So why not put Transformers and maybe even G.I. Joe in his hands? Especially, and it's not a knock on IDW, but as a company, if they're not that stable, to move this license somewhere else. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, we don't have a lot of media. The film Rise of the Beast is scheduled for 2023. We may get a toy line ahead of that. So maybe mid to late 2022, you may see something from that. You may see the return of BotBots to the shelves, or something for this other kids game. And of course, video games, Transformers, Earth Wars is still going strong. I think Forged to Fight is still going on as well. Transformers Angry Birds, I think, is still going on. So there's a lot of mobile gaming out there, and there's some more games in the pipeline, as I've heard, to come. So as you can see, no matter what you're into in terms of Transformers, in terms of the brand, it is a good time to be a Transformers fan. And 2022 is no different. Yeah, we may have a little bit less this year than previous years, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives us some time to relax, to recharge, right? I used to joke as a Transformers fan. I used to say, I'm a Transformers fan, but my wallet wants me to be a G.I. Joe fan. And right now, I don't think my wallet wants me to be either. And with that in mind, we're going to wrap up this edition of TFU News and Views. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you've checked out the website, the Toy Archive, Transformers University podcast. We have new episodes coming real soon. I got another episode of News and Views already ready to be talked about and planned out. So I'm going to record that one soon as well. Once again, Happy New Year. I am your host, Anthony Brucali, owner, operator, madman behind TFU.INFO. Till next time, see you. Thanks for listening to the show. Want to be on the show? Leave us a voicemail at 702-763-4838. That's 702-POD-4TFU. Or send an email to info@tfu.info. Be sure to catch us on Twitter at TFU_info and on Facebook and Instagram under the username TFU.INFO, all one word. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TFU.INFO, where we post all of our podcasts, plus special video segments, reviews, and live coverage of Transformers-related events such as New York Toy Fair and New York Comic-Con. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please visit us at www.tfu.info, the world's longest-running transforming toy archive.